Hello friends. In this session we're going to discuss about the APIs. So far we discussed about the application anatomy, and we discussed about the front end. Next we discussed about the HTTP protocol. So on which the messages will be transferred between the client and the server. Now in this session we're going to see API. So this is the heart of this entire course. Please be focused, take notes and share your comments. And if you have any questions, please ask me. Okay. Now friends, take a scenario. If you want to access the Facebook, so you are a human being, you will go to a laptop, open your laptop, and you will go to the Chrome browser or any browser and type Facebook. So the page will be loaded on your browser from the Facebook server. I told you, right? There is Facebook server, and from the this is a backend, right? This is a backend Facebook server, and from that server the page got loaded to your front end. All right. So that's about we discussed, and that happening through a Facebook API. Facebook API responsible for the Facebook mediation between the front end and back end. Right now, if you are not a human being, if you are an application, like from the application, from any other application, also I need to talk to the Facebook server. So I can't go click open the browser and click the go to the facebook.com and click the I can't do everything, right? So what I can do is an application want to talk to the Facebook application on the back end. So that communication will also happen through your Facebook API. All right. So even from the graphical interface, if you click a button, underneath the button there's an API call is there to the Facebook server, and we can directly using the application inside your application, you're building some application. So from on your application under some action we can incorporate the Facebook call, so that in application talk to the Facebook application. So the important point you understand in case of APIs is application programming interface. Means if application want to talk to another application, so that interface, those two applications can talk to each other using the APIs. Therefore, nowadays, if you see any application, it might be Google Stack like Google Drive, Gmail, Google Photos, Google Maps, might be Facebook, might be LinkedIn, might be Instagram. You name it. Any application has backed with the API, right? So without API nowadays there is no application, any application backed with the API. So friends, so API is very critical component nowadays, right? So what happens is when companies develop the applications, they develop something called the APIs, and that APIs documentation is provided to the application users. Like API has a two parts, right? API has a two parts. One sec. So any API has a two parts. One is the API definition or documentation, and API implementation, right? So API definition serves as an it provides the details of the API. Okay, it's simple a text kind of documentation. It's a normal text documentation. It contains the details of the API, what services does API provides, and to consume those services, what kind of request we need to send, and what kind of response it sent back to the client, right? For example, if a Facebook API is there, For example, in a sample Facebook API, what we can do Facebook, what kind of Facebook services Facebook provide? We can post a message inside the Facebook. The post message is one of the service, right? Post message. We call is an operation. And we can post a comment for the message, post comment and a like. These are all different kind of operations inside the Facebook API, right? And for each operation, what request the client has to send, and for this request what response the Facebook send back to the client. So there are all details covered in the Facebook API definition. So what happens is once the Facebook finishes their API, they use that API definition to the clients. Even we can incorporate the Facebook API call in our application. We can develop our own application and we can call the Facebook inside application. For that, we need to know the API documentation. So the application, the developers are this application who are developing these applications, right? So the developers see the API, Facebook API document definition, and they will call the service accordingly, right? In actual implementation, they write the code for the API. Maybe they did in the Java or Python, whatever the programming language, they implement the API. Okay, so implementation API is actual implementation API, whereas the definition is kind of the document. In the document, what kind of services that API provides, right? It's similar like if you go to the hotel contains the menu. The menu contains what are the food items that hotel serves, what is the each price, and what he gets, all this information. That is API definition. Actual food is the API implementation. You can assign like that, right? Now API application to in order to application communication, API is very important. API serves a critical role between application to application communication. In this is my application, it is a Facebook application. And one more interesting scenario I will share with you. We day to day life we see anybody, we often travel via Uber, right? Okay, we often travel via Uber. If you open the Uber interface, we are seeing some kind of the map. In the map, you can see where the driver, the cab is located, and where is my house, and what is the navigation path between the Uber cab and the my house. Right? This is a Google map. Right? So this map is loaded inside the Uber. Actually, this map is a Google map. So what the developers of Uber developers, what they did is they take the Google Map API. Okay, Google Map API, and this is actual Google Map API. Okay, Gmap API, and here there are different services to get the location services are there. What the distance between 2 points, all the stuff is there. So these developers internally called the Google Map so that we can able to see the Google location services on the Uber screen. So wherever is Google is required, Google Map service required, it might be Swiggy, Zomato, Uber, they internally call the Google Map API. Now the Uber and the Google Map is talking. The both are talking, right? Application is talking, not a person to person. Whenever the application is talking internally, this is a Google Map implementation. I think it is like that. Gmap implementation. Okay. So whenever the application talking, API acts as a mediator between application to application. Now we come to second step. This step I think we clearly understand. Whenever application is talking, internally the API is a mediator between the application, right? So what the API contains? What kind of the information the API contains? API contains the definitions, API definition, right? Sometimes the client, assume this is a client and this is a server. Take an example, same earlier example, Facebook. Okay, Facebook. I'm developing one application, my own application. In that application, I want to access the Facebook, right? So this is Facebook API definition. Facebook API definition. In the Facebook API definition, I will come to know what are the services the Facebook provides, right? So some are the get services. some are the post services, some are the put services, and some are the delete services, right? So from my client application, my own application, I want to post some message on the Facebook. So there is a message. This message I want to post in my Facebook wall. Then what kind of method I need to take in the from the AP definition? The method is a post message. Post message contains the message structure, and if you call the post method inside my own application by sending this message, so that will be published on the Facebook wall, right? But suppose I want to message some Dasara wishes. Some that this name is Dasara. I post Dasara wishes, right? Then we can able to see Dasara wishes on the Facebook wall. Yeah. So I post multiple messages earlier. So far I post 50 messages, 60 messages for different occasions. Now I want to get all the messages whatever I posted, right? So in that case, what method is suitable? That is a get method. If I use the get method, I will get the all the messages I posted so far. Then you want to get only the Dasara message, whatever you posted now, you want to see that message. Then you need to send what message you want to see. Each and every message has some ID. Whenever you create a message, the message contains the ID. Then you need to send the ID of the Dasara message to the get, so that you can get only the message with associated with Dasara. Now, you posted Dasara message to the Facebook wall, but there is some typo is there. You want to correct that one. Then what is the right method to correct? That is a put method. Put method, you need to pass which message you want to modify. For example, Dasara message has ID is 301, and you have to pass the 301, and what we want to update. This is a message I want to update. So what happens? It go and replace the 301 with this new message. It overwrites on top of that. So that is a put. Put is for update. Now you don't want you some way you posted Dasara message, but you want to delete it due to some reason. Then the what message I need to call from my application? I need to call the delete application passing the 301. Then what happens? In my application, if I call the Facebook delete call using 301, that's this specific message will be deleted from the Facebook wall. So that depends upon my requirement. I will call the methods, right? So now in earlier session, in HTTP session, we discussed four HTTP methods: get method, post method, put method, and delete method. Then we can associate those methods with these API calls. Whenever a client want to get, what I can do, every call from client to server is the HTTP call, right? Like I told, in internet, every call is HTTP call, right? Now, whenever I want to get information from the Facebook to my client, I will call HTTP get, and inside I will call the this call, API call, get API call. HTTP get method is associated with the get API call. Similarly, this method, HTTP method and API calls is associated, right? So HTTP post is associated with the my API post call, right? Similarly, put with the put call and delete call, right? Therefore, the API calls and the HTTP calls got associated based on your requirement. I want to delete, I can use the HTTP delete call. In the delete call, I will call the API delete call. I means who? The developers of this application will call the API delete call on the Facebook on the HTTP delete, right? So this is about theory. Now we see everything in a practical, so that you will get complete idea about how API works, what is HTTP get call and what is API get call, everything. So this thing we discuss in the next session. Thank you so much. Don't miss, and whatever learnings you learned from this session, what is the takeaways? Please comment inside this comment section of this class. And uh, let me summarize the entire session. If you want to, if a person, if as a person I want to access Facebook, what I can do, I can open the Facebook API on the browser. I can use different buttons, so I can interact the Facebook. That is a normal person, human to Facebook, using the graphical user interface. This is called graphical user interface. But if application want to talk to the Facebook, application is not a man, it can't open the browser like us, it can't open laptop. Application want to interact with Facebook, then it interacts through the API call, Facebook API call. API has a two parts, but one is definition and that is implementation. Definition is simply a textual document. It contains what are the services that API provides, and for each service, what request the client has to send and what response the that server send back to client. In this case, what request we need to send to the Facebook and what response the Facebook send back to the SAR client, right? So these developer of this application will get that Facebook API documentation and they develop the application accordingly by calling their suitable services. Okay. Now, like example, I told Uber and the Google Map. Uber, whenever seeing the Google Map means all the Google Map API they called in their applications. Therefore, we can see the Google Map in different applications, not only Google Map. The same maps we are showing different applications. They are calling that Google Map location services. And finally, if I want to create a message on the Facebook, in the API definition, in the Facebook API definition, there's a get call, post call, put call, delete call. So I need to call the corresponding function, corresponding operation on the Facebook, right? So that I can do the Facebook functionality, Facebook functionalities, right? We're posting or putting or deleting, getting, right? So I need to call the corresponding operation on the Facebook. These operations I will call using HTTP methods. If I want to get information from the Facebook, I will call the Facebook get operation on HTTP get. You want to post information to Facebook, I will call the Facebook post operation on HTTP post to update the put and to delete the delete. So this is the theoretical part we covered so far. In the next session, we practically see how to operate an API and how to call the post call, how to get the put call, delete call, and the create get call. So that's it. Please once again iterate and take notes and do practice in the next session.